Thank you.
Oh my God. Okay. That was the best thing I've ever seen. Who are you?
Name's Kyle Gass.
Kyle Gass. Dude, will you just teach me that one thing that you did where you're like, hang on.
I'm not giving free guitar lessons today. Why don't you stand over there?
Right here? You're awesome. Anyway, my name's JB. Just rolled into town.
Would you give me some space?
Yeah.
You're kind of cramping my style.
Ah, dude, I'm sorry.
And you're driving away my crowd. If you can just move it back, like I asked you earlier, I think things are going to be a lot better.
Okay, fine. Sorry.
Thanks.
Cheese Louise, Peppa Cheese.
No, it's okay. It's just part of his genius.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rhythm Section Podcast. That's Jeff Ward.
That's Derek.
So, welcome. As you know, this podcast is designed to spotlight our wonderful music community in Memphis and the greater Memphis area. We are brought to you by SRP Studios, and we are located in a lot of different platforms. Jeff, let's talk about that.
Yeah, Facebook and YouTube. We always tell you guys to catch the video there, preferably YouTube. And all your streaming platforms, Pandora, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify.
Yes, the podcast platforms. Every Monday morning, you'll get a new episode, and then the video presentation, YouTube, Facebook at 6 p.m. Central.
Yep.
So check that out. And also, we're going to be releasing clips of this episode throughout the week. Check out our link tree. That will take you to all our platforms. Look into subscribing to our tip jar if you want to support. It's $1 a month. Click that Patreon link to get more information. We have merch, everybody. We have shirts, hats, coffee mugs, and tumblers at a retail location. I mean, we don't have our online location yet, but we have retail at Boba Cream, 131 West Commerce Street in Hernando. Go check it out. Say hi to Ryan Duran and grab you a drink while you're at it.
Yep.
msbobacream.com. And as always, parental discretion is advised, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, Jeff?
Not much, man. You've been at it all by yourself this weekend.
Yes, I represented
Yeah.
for sure. I had a good time. As we record this on May 7th, I saw 3 bands.
Yep.
But we'll get into that. Let's talk about who will be with us in this interview. We got Rick Ruhl from Every Mother's Nightmare, everybody.
Great, long-time Memphis musician. Got his break back in the late 80s with Every Mother's Nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been kicking ass ever since.
Still doing it.
The lineup's a little different now than it was originally, but great, killer band, killer music. Just love those guys.
And when we get deeper, I have all the band member names.
Yeah. We don't want to mess those names up.
No, they
look a little scary. I don't want to piss anybody off.
I know, man. So, great. So, so you chilled this weekend.
I did,
Respect.
Man. Yeah, got out to the country and just vegged. Well, worked during the day, but the evenings were just all about the back patio and doing nothing.
Yeah, respect, man.
Yeah.
I've taken plenty of weekend nights off where you went out and represented.
Yeah.
So I just had a good weekend. I decided to go check out a few bands, and one of them I've only seen once, and that was Elevation Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's right. I need one of those shirts.
Yep.
They've been in the studio last week.
Yep.
As we record this. Their interview's coming out May 29th. We can actually pre-promote that. We know the date we're pushing it out. So we got LaShawn Robinson Henderson.
Yep.
And Melanie Pierce coming up on May 29th. And then that was Friday, and then 6 Feet Thunder at Lafayette's. And then I checked out another couple sets of Area 51 at 10th Inning out in the patio. Right. Beautiful weather. Sounded great. I love an outdoor mix. And it was great. So we had a good time there. But I want to dig deeper into the Elevation Memphis show I caught. Okay. They're badass. The first time I heard them was at Neil's at a benefit, and they were great then too. But I heard them in their element, their spot, Ernstine and Hazel's.
Right.
And they don't do covers like the covers.
Right.
The way they do them, though, are incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Darren, the keyboard player, kicks the left hand on bass.
Right.
And it's phenomenal. And what I love about a good keyboard player that can play the bass is the notes are cleaner and punchier, and
right.
you know, it really sits well in the mix. So man, I can just hear the bass line really clean, and that, you know, selfishly, obviously,
sure,
that's what I'm going to listen to. So good seeing you all.
Yep.
I met Darren and Darren.
Yeah,
the double D's.
Yeah.
Darren, I have their names written down on another piece of paper that I do not have in front of me. But the other drummers, the drummer's Darren, keyboard player Darren.
Yeah.
And they had Troy Isom on guitar.
Oh, cool.
That's a revolving door.
Yeah.
It seems to be it's either Troy or Sean. I almost said Josh Haynes.
Yeah, there he is.
Okay.
That's
all
okay.
right. It's, you know,
it's early.
You know, I closed both nights down, so
right.
You know how that works.
Yeah, I'll cut you some slack, man. You've been out late a couple of nights.
So I'm hanging out, and they go into their set break, and then that's when I go say hello and hanging out. And LaShawn goes, "Have you been upstairs before?" Because I had just told her it was my first time there.
Right.
I'm like, no. She's like, "Oh, you got to check it out." I was like, "Show me upstairs. Let's go." This place is wild.
Okay.
I mean, I did a little research, a tiny bit. I want to talk about this place because it is quite unique and special, and it's going to be one of my favorite places to go now because upstairs is, I mean, it used to be a brothel.
Okay.
And there's a lot of creepiness up there, and history up there. There's a line of doors that used to be
yeah,
and then some are locked and no one sees it inside of those.
Okay.
And then there's a bar up in the corner, and I don't know. I'm doing a bad. I'm going to be pushing pictures. By now, Alex is pushing pictures out there, so you can all see it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting there now and checking it out.
So it's located downtown Memphis on South Main Street. They're known for soul burgers, I guess. I did not test or taste test one of their burgers, but since their opening in '92, as they kind of reopened, they have been featured in 9 movies, written about in magazines like Playboy and Esquire, visited by celebrities, and deemed one of the most haunted places in America. And I'll tell you what, when you go up there, you can understand why. So what would become Ernestine and Hazel's started out as a pharmacy in the late 30s.
Okay.
The bio on the website doesn't touch on the brothel part. I had to, Google, why is it haunted? And then, of course, brothel comes up, so do the math on that. So the owner, Abe Plow, created a product, a hair product. So it was like, it was a pharmacy, but he created some hair products. And 2 of his clients were Ernestine and Hazel.
Okay.
And that's the little history I picked up on them. But
I'm going to say that's probably a plow, by the way.
Thank you.
Just
what did I say?
Plow.
I didn't even realize what the hell I was saying. So, all right. All right. So it says it's also haunted. Patrons report hearing unexplained noises on the 2nd floor. The jukebox plays on its own. Like people will be walking down the street and they just call, one of the owners like, "Hey, your jukebox is on again."
Okay.
Like it's kind of a known thing that it pops on.
What song comes on?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If it's the same song every time, something's up.
And I'm gonna leave this tagged this way, and I didn't dig deeper in that, but apparently bones were discovered in the walls.
Good to know. Yeah, I'm thinking less and less about going to this place.
Okay, so there's this bartender that works upstairs in this back corner little bar, right?
Okay.
That when you look out the window, you're facing right down on Main Street. It's really cool. There's all these little pocket and side rooms that just look old and scary, right?
Yeah.
But there's a bartender up there by the name of Louis Ziggy Tucker. And he's been there for 50 years.
Wow.
And that's what LaShawn was telling me.
Right.
He's a staple up there. So I just wanted to highlight him. You know, everyone that must go to that place on a regular basis must obviously know Mr. Tucker. So by now, Alex, throw that picture up of Ziggy. And if you are interested in seeing this place in person, I highly suggest it. Go check it out. It really is. I'm not doing it justice at how wacky and wild that place is.
You think they let us do a watch party at the brothel part?
I don't know. What are we watching up there?
I don't know.
You know, so, but yeah, so it was a good time. I'm glad I checked that out. Yeah. So what do you got, Jeff? Did you want to promote anything or?
Man, not really. I've been so lazy this weekend. I don't have a lot to talk about.
Hey, by the time people are watching and or listening, we've had the watch party. As we record this, it's happening tomorrow. So again, it's one of those, Great Scott! Timeline deals.
Right.
So we can't talk about it in the past tense, but in the pretense, we're hoping to have a good turnout. I think it's going to ramp up to be a nice thing.
I do too. I think it's going to go well.
Yeah.
And,
I
mean, I guess they only, just hoping for the best with that. And, but I don't have a lot to talk about. I'm sorry. I'm pretty boring this weekend.
That's right. You chilled. You had a weekend, man.
Very chill.
So anyone that came out in the past tense, all of you that showed up and said hello, thank you.
Yes.
I mean, it really is crazy, that people are showing up to just really meet and greet us. Yeah. And speaking of, let's go back to Area 51. So 10th inning out in the patio.
Yeah.
And of course the band's.
I saw Lance's knees.
Yes, Lance is wearing shorts.
He's wearing shorts.
He was a little lighter, so he was bouncing higher than he normally does. But as usual, Josh, much like Mark Holt and Sean or any of these guys that get on the mic, when they know we're out there, they give us a shout out. So that kind of triggered some people to approach me.
Oh, cool.
And hang out.
Yeah.
And one of them, his name is David Whitmore. I want to shout out to David Whitmore. He and another gentleman, maybe even more than one, are admins on a group called Mid-South Music Events.
Yeah.
So I want to push that. I want to help him out and that group out because, they're trying to do a good thing and keep up with, current dates of bands and venues. And it's supposed to be, they want to make it a hub where should I go tonight?
Yeah.
Check out that group, Mid-South Music Events.
What a chore that is.
Oh, God, yeah. I know, man. So thank you. Nice meeting you, David. I met his, I believe, significant other, his wife. Right. And sorry, I didn't get the name. I only know David's name because he gave me a card. I remembered his name at least. But good talking with y'all. I really appreciated meeting you. And then I want to give a special shout out to Donna Wright and her friend Patricia. It was nice meeting y'all. They wanted to take a picture. And one of those deals where you realize, oh, I recognize your name, on Facebook.
Right.
Thank you for engaging. And
for sure.
That was fun. And Donna, like you mentioned, was talking to me about being on the Monsters of Rock cruise.
Yeah, with Richie. I believe her husband's name is Richie.
Okay.
Saw tons of posts from them.
Yeah, a lot of great pictures once the performances started rolling out.
Yeah, man.
Those awesome pictures were coming in.
Yep.
Of all these great bands.
It looks like such a great time. I can't wait to do it myself. And
That's right. We're gonna throw it out in the universe.
We're gonna make it happen.
Yes, we want to film.
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal. I mean, I'm happy if we just go on the cruise and take pictures and have something to talk about, on the podcast. But I'd love to be there in an official podcast capacity, able to sit down and do interviews and be a part of the whole thing.
I mean, they're all there. All the names are there.
Right.
So, well, great. Good weekend. I appreciated meeting everyone. All the bands kicked ass as always, and we'll do another weekend soon. So now let's talk about our guest today.
Yeah, man,
Mr. Rick Ruhl.
Yep.
So this was your booking, as always.
Front man for Every Mother's Nightmare. I first learned about these guys back in the day. I was in college at the time when their first self-titled album came out, and they were recording a video for one of the releases, Love Can Make You Blind. And me and some college buddies took off to I believe that it was at the Daisy. And we went and were a part of that whole recording of that video along with several thousand other people.
Man, I wish I could hop in a time machine and hang out in Memphis in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, man.
Must have been special.
It was
it is. I know it's special because of the stories I keep hearing.
Yeah, it was a great time and a great band. And, they have continued on now for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Rick, I've said this before. When you see Rick on stage, I said this about the Fast Mothers. I'll say the same thing about him. You can't fake that.
Yeah.
The guy is so in the zone and so in the moment. I don't think he even remembers where he's at. I mean, he's just...
He remembers his words, though. So
he's focused on entertaining the crowd, and he does it.
Yeah.
And he's amazing to watch. He performs in front of 50 people with the same energy that he would singing in front of 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the mark of an amazing frontman. He doesn't hold anything back just because it may be a smaller local show. Does it the same way.
And he's powered by a really badass band. So let's talk about them.
That helps.
We got our friend Alan Bone on drums.
Yep.
He was early on this podcast.
Yes.
I love bumping into him. So what's up, Alan? Hope you're doing well. The next three I have not met. We got Troy Fleming on bass.
Yep.
One of the coolest looking bass players in town on my side. John Gutter on guitar and Travis Butler on guitar.
All guys that I want in here at some point.
Oh, for sure.
That's out there, guys. If you're watching, we'll be in touch.
Like I said, there's not an amount of years that we could label that we could be like, okay, we covered everybody. It's just endless.
It's going to be a minute. Yeah.
While he's in here, we talk about the Resurrect album.
Yeah.
We go deeper into other albums too, but Resurrect is their latest album. It's on all digital platforms. And that's with the current lineup that I just listed out.
Correct.
The band that you see live right now is on all of them on their latest record.
And my personal favorite song is Breathe.
Okay.
So if you get a chance, head out to YouTube, check that video out. Amazing video and song.
Yeah. I mean, pro shot videos.
Yes, very cool.
I mean, MTV level.
Yep.
For real. For real. We talk about the origin of the band name. And as I'm just reading a note, I have no recollection of the story. We talk about his influences, and then we go deeper in all kinds of areas.
Yeah, I believe at some point we talked about motorcycles. I didn't even realize that Rick rides, and he is a big time motorcycle guy, and sounds like he's probably lucky to still be in one piece.
He's a cat, man. He's got multiple lives.
Right.
And that's wild. I think we got deeper into it after the mics turned off, right? He's, let's say his ass has hit the ground.
A time or two.
Yeah. So, it was good fun. And I think y'all will enjoy this interview. Let's move on to that then. Again, we'll do this song for the bumper.
Sure.
It's just a good song.
It's a great song.
We love Sean.
Yep.
But as always, thank you. Thank you for engaging.
Yeah.
It's such a pleasure to engage outside of Facebook. That's what really makes this cool and unique.
Yeah.
And I always say this, and I can speak for Jeff about this. Come say hello. We are extremely approachable. We're there to hang out. We're there to meet people.
And the reason we say that over and over is because we're both very strange individuals when it comes to going up and meeting people.
That's right.
And we don't want anybody to feel that way about coming and saying hi to us. We are going to give you all the time in the world to talk and chat, and we appreciate your support. So,
and this might be surprising to most because of the amount of times, my face and voice is out so many places now with my other podcasts and business posts and everything, but I'm actually a quiet, shy, introverted person.
Yeah.
I'm coming out of my shell more and more.
Yeah.
So come say hello.
Absolutely.
I can't say it enough. So again, merch, baby.
Yeah.
Shirts, hats, coffee mugs, tumblers, Boba Cream, 131 West Commerce Street. Hernando, msbobacream.com. Check out our Patreon link for that tip jar. If you can spare $12 a year, it would go a long way. All right, Jeff, let's get going here. Let's do this.
Without further delay,
go for it, man.
Rick Ruhl.
Yes, sir. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Jeff, man, this is a great day. We got Mr. Rick Ruhl with us today. How are you doing, Rick?
Good. How y'all doing?
Man, it's so exciting to have you here today. We really are excited to have you.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah.
Just a little ride with me and my boy Craig. We're just up now from Memphis.
Sweet.
Good day. Good day.
Yeah, this is only 35 years in the making for me.
Right.
Ready to,
As usual, I'm meeting the guest for the first time, hitting record 5 minutes in.
Right.
But then Jeff's got the history behind you and EMN.
I'm meeting him for the first time as well, but I've been following him for a long time.
That's right, because you went to EMN shows back in the day, right?
Yep. Back in the late,
You've seen a lot of
90s.
mistakes, didn't you?
Hey, that happens.
It's a work in progress.
The good thing is that way back then, there were no cell phones recording everything that happened, and there was a lot of alcohol and drugs involved, so we don't remember the screw-ups.
Yeah.
I will say I have seen you play twice since before this. Once at Neil's and then at Hadley's
Right on.
later. So awesome. We've had your boy Alan Bone on,
Right on.
and he was awesome. He was early.
He's a good cat, man. I can't believe I lived in Memphis for since '89 and never bumped into him, run into him at a club ever. Never seen him, nothing.
Crazy.
And great guy.
Alan
great
Bone
drummer.
being the drummer. To
He's
anyone
the
that doesn't
drummer,
know.
the motor.
So let's start from the beginning, shall we? You know, where are you from?
I am from basically Blount County, Knoxville.
Okay.
Oak Ridge, Gatlinburg. It's a little town called Lenore City, but it's about that big.
East Tennessee.
Yeah.
Are you? Is that hitting the mountains?
Yeah, right at them. Right. I lived at the 129 interstate is 11 miles. It's got 211 hairpin curves in it. So
You've
grew up
counted it all.
going from Knoxville to North Carolina, riding motorcycles over that hill. So
He's counted every one of them.
yeah.
What kind of motorcycles you ride?
Oh man, right now I'm R1s and Harley Davidsons. You know, I raced Yamahas and R1s, and I just got me my first Harley. So
I didn't know that you raced.
I've fallen off motorcycles for
Holy crap.
for years.
Yeah, and an R1's not something you really want to fall off of.
I have no business being on a motorcycle.
I'm
zero business.
I've always been fascinated by things that go fast.
Right.
Mostly cars because they have four wheels. I like to be inside of something. So
Yeah,
I've never had a motorcycle, but
there's a different feeling falling off. I fell off at running at Talladega and went through a sweeper turn in about fifth gear. About 140 mile an hour and wrecked for about 14 minutes, it seemed like.
you fell for a long
Right, yeah.
time. Yeah.
So what brought you to Memphis? When did that happen?
They used to have a thing called the, I guess they started calling it Producer Showcase, but before that it was called, I can't even remember. That's just where all the bands from around here, they would put on showcases for labels. And, I was living in Nashville at the time then, and somehow we got hooked up with Eli Ball down here. He was a producer, and he'd recorded the Delta Rebels and some other stuff. And he got us to come down and play. And the first night we were here, they put us in, we were at the New Daisy, but they put us next door at Proud Mary's. And I think we put like 600 people in there the first night. And next morning we were talking to Ariston, and everything changed.
The rest was history.
Yeah. I mean,
Man, back when it was just, it seemed easier back then. to get a
well,
label.
I mean, everybody was going to L.A. and I'm like, man, I was in Knoxville, so I said every label that's in L.A. is right here in Nashville. All you got to do is make enough noise and get them to come see, just to see what you are, you know.
Yep.
So we proceeded with that method.
Well, you guys definitely made enough noise to catch Ariston's attention.
Right. I mean, Clive Davis come down and, he's been with everybody, Aerosmith, Joplin, everything.
Sure, yeah. Did you do any recording or anything in Music Row?
Oh yeah. I mean, we had came here and done the first two records, and we got with a new manager, and we started working with Ross Hogarth, which he engineered Girls, Motley Crue record, and we did that right up there in Nashville, and we were just trying to revamp because music changed. When Pearl Jam and all that started happening, music changed, and and that's not a bad thing because our music was kind of watered down. And
He and I have had this conversation numerous times.
I'm the age where Nirvana was it for me.
Right.
Like I grew up on people are probably sick of hearing me say this, but, you know, when I was 10, 11, 12, I was all about Def Leppard Hysteria. That was the cassette.
Yeah.
You know, Motley Crue and Europe, Final Countdown. Like I was jamming those, you know, cassettes in my Walkman, but then, you know, Nirvana hit when I was 14, right? Bam, you know, and so I'm part of that group. And yeah, you know, the 80s hair band, if you will. Yeah. Towards the end there, it was a little.
If you got any kind of deal anywhere in the 80s, you're marked for life as hair bands.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in a rock band. I'm just in a rock and roll band, you know.
No question, man. I've never thought of EMN as a hair band.
I mean,
for the ones only listening, I definitely did the air quotes for the hair band, you know, because it gives a bad name. It does. I mean, it you know, some of them fall under that. Let's be real. There was a lot of cookie cutter stuff that they needed to be pushed to the side, but I'm hearing this story so much, interviewing people like yourself.
The cool thing, my biggest thing is when we were doing our second record, you know, I was fighting with Airstay every day because they were wanting Love Can Make You Blind. And we've been out on the road and we're watching, you know, we're playing with these bands and they're up and coming. We're like, man, street music's coming in. It's coming in, you know, hard and straightforward and no polish, you know. And,
flannel shirts and all.
You know, you record a record for a couple, $700, $800, $900 and sell 9 million copies, you know.
Oh, I know.
That changed the whole world for everybody.
Well, and look, quite honestly, the music EMN has put out has been on the heavier side of rock music.
It's a little dark.
Now the stuff, you know, I learned of you guys during that first album, Love Can Make You Blind. I've always loved that song. And I realized that there may be times when you kind of want to go towards the heavier stuff, but hey, I know that song puts you on the map.
Hey, that song, I had a lot of years with that song where I would just half-ass it or whatever.
Right.
Because I've been playing that song, Long Haired Country Boy, Walls. I got to play them every night, you know. So I started slacking on love, and everywhere we go, somebody wants to hear that song.
Sure.
So, and like I said, you got to dance with what brung you. So when we did Resurrect the Faithful, I just said, y'all care if we do I asked the band, I said, do y'all care if we record? I don't want to try to redo it or make it anything like the old one. I said, this is just this is how this band now plays this song the way we do it. And it's, you know, I think it's better. It's just it's more stripped back.
I've heard it and I like it.
And that's the thing, man. That's the whole reason it got on there was, you know, just for that fan. The fans that have been with us everywhere we go, we've known people since the first time we went out. They bring us food. People we've known so many years. They're staying on the bus all weekend with us, bring their kids, and so it's cool. You know,
that's awesome.
Let's talk about the current lineup. You know, so we got on drums Alan Bone, as we mentioned, Troy Fleming on bass, the coolest. Looking fucking bass player in town.
I told him when Troy first showed up at my house, I opened the door and I said, man, I don't even care if you can play. You hold the bass, you're in.
I want to meet him. You're hired. I want to meet him because he also sounds great, great guitar. But dude, Troy Fleming, man.
Well, he's been with me, 29 years, 20 something like that. But he's like the, you know, I sing to him more than anything. I always turn his amps in right in here. He plays everything he plays is great. Plays something different. He don't just stand there and you know.
Gets up on the mic and
he
barks
plays
on the
stuff
mic.
Wrong. That's the way we like it or not.
You got John Guttery?
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Yes.
On guitar, then the other guitar player is Travis Butler.
They're this band. I lucked into this band because you run into chemistry. I've run into it 2 or 3 times maybe. This last one, it shouldn't work on paper because John is left field Unabomb killer, but just an incredible guitar player. And then, you know, Gunner is just, he's Aerosmith pretty much, but he's just one of them roots guitar players, great solos, everything, but they're so different in the way they work it out. It's incredible. And then, you know, Bone stepped in, and that's my biggest thing is finding somebody that, you know, because I talk like this. You got to do that.
Right.
And he understands.
He can translate.
So he makes it
I want
happen.
a little rat-a-tat-tat here and a little boom over there, you know. But, we've built a neat little relationship with Alan now over time, and
Yeah,
just saw him a couple nights ago as we record this with Midnight Train.
He's a good cat.
Yeah, he's really cool, and man, just a heavy hitter, so he fit right in.
Yeah.
And he told a little story about this too, and then I'm interested to ask you, like you said before the mics turned on, how all these years your paths never crossed with him, and then but it turns out to be a great pairing. So
I don't know. I called a friend of mine that was in the Fast Mothers, and I was needing a drummer. He said, "I got the dude," and I went up to this place called Hadley's in Memphis and hung out with him, and we didn't even talk about it. I said, "Man, I need a drummer," and we talked for a second, and he wasn't somebody who was just sitting there going, "I got this, and I can do this." And we didn't talk about nothing else all night, and he came over, and we had been playing, doing something. We were trying out some people, and we'd spent 3 days on one song with somebody, and Alan came in first night, and we probably burned through 8 and then threw 3 more together fast, and he had it. He's got it, he's good. Yeah. And he's a brawler.
He looks the part too. Right. Like you guys look like
he's on our side.
I mean this in the nicest way, but you guys are the scariest band I've ever seen in Memphis.
We're a little angry. We've had a COVID from COVID to now has been pretty rough on this band, but we haven't had no easy road to hoe. So but we're just rock and roll. What you're going to hear is we play what we live what we play, and we recorded Resurrect, and John came out of the studio and goes, every one of these songs, he goes, I said, yeah, you're this far away from everything that happened on every song on that record.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about the new record, because there was a big gap in time, right? Yeah. So what's the genesis of how that new album came up, and what's the story behind that? Well,
I got with a friend of mine, Bill, from High Vol Records, and we had already had a little, we have 5 songs? 5-song EP done, and we were just, trying to sell it out of our trunk and stuff. And we played in Houston, and a friend of ours down there from K-Nac saw us, and he called Bill Chavis up and said, "Hey man, you heard what the Nightmares are doing?" So when we did Grind, I went to Justin Reimer, and I said, there's a couple of producers in Memphis right now that are really just good. They're on the game right now, and I got with him, and I figured he wasn't even going to deal with me. I ain't going to mess with no hair band. So, but I just went there and I said, we need this. We need what we're doing put in today's picture frame setting, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And it worked. And Bill heard it, and as soon as he heard it, he was like, well, let's throw 3 more songs. Let's just do a full record. And the time span between those 2 records was, we rode that record for 3.5 years, man. We didn't even know it. Felt like we did it for like 12 months or so, but we rode that thing when we went over the United States, back, everywhere.
So the album put you on the road pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, we were until COVID hit, we were never home. That's why our friends said, man, y'all are gone all the time. So,
playing festivals or
anything,
standalone?
Anything, somebody's living room, I don't care.
Were you selling some tickets too in some areas?
Oh, yeah, we was doing good. We sold a lot of records on that little record.
That's awesome.
We sold a big pile of records for doing it.
And
that's great.
Where'd you record that?
Justin Reimer, I think it was Cross Tracks?
Yeah. Cross Tracks.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, so when COVID hit, man, that just screwed up so much shit.
Yeah. When we came home, it was me and somebody, we'd already got it one time, and it was right when it first hit, and we didn't even know what it was. But I mean, this flu's been here for like 2 months. Yeah, it's killing us. But we started writing, and so when we were writing Resurrect, I said, I want to do this record, but I don't want it to be anything like we've done. Everything we do has got to come, from a different, as far as punches coming in, songs, titles. I changed every way I do choruses and everything, and and we just started focusing, and all this stuff hit. But right when the record was finished, we were coming out of it, so we threw a single out, and it took off, and and then it really kicked in, and it was that yeah. And here we are.
Well, the COVID's behind us.
Right.
Even if it's not, we've all said, you know what, go fuck yourself, and we're moving on with our lives.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this last thing on this, the Grind record, the last show we did for that label was High Vol. They were friends of ours. I'd known them 8 years before I even signed with them. And, we went out and played their outdoor event, and we all left, and I got COVID again. I'd had it 4 times.
Holy
I got
shit.
COVID, he got COVID, Troy got COVID, and the president of my label, Bill, and his wife, they died, and so.
My goodness.
Yeah, so it hit me pretty hard for a minute because I was like, why were we all there, and how come they died? And
Yeah.
I've been through every single bad thing in the world. I should have been first one out, but
I get it.
Surviving the apocalyptic meltdown like a roach.
But I will say, the stuff we've written for this next record, we've got 4 recorded, and we've got it's so it's about this much higher than Resurrect and this much to the left. But
we can't just breeze past that. So Every Mother's Nightmare is working on a new album. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's called the record's going to be in a. I was in my living room, and I heard this commercial, and at the end of it, guy goes, "Crazy good," and I said, "What? Crazy good?" And I said, if something's good, something's crazy good, it's got to be good.
There you go.
And the first real hard song written was "Crazy Good," and so that's what I'm gonna call the record "Crazy Good." But we've got 4 already recorded, probably 10 or 12 that we could fumble through.
How many do you want total?
I would probably do 15 songs. Right now, if the way we're going, we'll have 20 or 30 because we're just writing every week.
With 15, that's a big album.
Yep.
But the strong stay, the weeks fall off. So
Yeah, you got to record a lot, right, and then chip away.
Well, any time we rehearse at my house, and I got a studio in there. So anytime we're playing, there's a red button on, just for ideas because we've lost so many things. We'll just start playing something and try to remember it. In the shower, you're like, I can remember that. I can't remember that.
Now, is this going to be recorded at Supernova?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's our, that's right behind where I live. And
Okay.
I don't know, we went to that place and we were just talking to them about it. And we just had a little sit down and they turned around and said, I tell you what, you come in and record and your record's going to sound good. And it's going to cost $20,000 million. Right. And I went in there and I was in my pajamas for 2 weeks there.
There you go.
Comfortable. I mean, the whole studio's set up for, used to, when you go in a big studio, you're in there and you're like, it's kind of scared this place when you go in there. And Dave's like the 5th member. We bounce everything off him.
Does he know that y'all are looking to come in and cut a new record with him? Or?
Oh, we've already cut 4 for the new record.
Oh, so you've already
yeah.
Oh, so that's right. Of course, you've already cut 4. And,
we got to visit that studio. Our friends in Fever Tree asked us to come in.
I got to put a record on that wall.
Yeah, we saw it. Very cool.
I told him, I said, I'm coming in here one day. I'm going to open this door. I was going to bring a big old nail and just put it right crooked somewhere, but.
Yeah,
it's amazing he can fit a drum set in the tracking room because it's just walls of amps and guitars.
I don't know how he gets the tone out there because it's just it's crazy good.
It does sound great. Yeah.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to new music from Every Mother's Nightmare.
This is awesome exciting. News. And then I would gather when you are ready to release it, are you going to really try to push it? You're going to try to get on the road more. How is that looking?
That is we're with Dark Star now, Dark Star Records, and they were wanting us to do a record, but I couldn't sit, and have to write a record, and so I talked them into let's re-release, Resurrect the Faithful, and put some of these back records out, and started writing and stuff, and I sent them the first 2, and it's good.
They were
so,
pretty happy with that,
right?
So what's the writing process typically like? Are you coming up with the lyrics first, or is it from jams?
To be honest, it's a fight. First thing I told Troy when he got in the band, I said, if you want something in this band and the way I work, if you want something, you got to stand up for it. And you got to,
right.
If you want it, you can be one man. If you stand up, tough enough, you can get your way. But that's the way we do. We just get in there and fight. But usually, John or Gunner, somebody, they'll start playing a riff, and the thing with me, I don't write lyrics down. I don't write them till when I put them down. I put them in the studio. I make it up as I go when I'm in the studio. The whole time we're playing, I'm just making rhymes with words that rhyme with it, or just keep me on the track, and it drives David Cow mad. But it's just he'll start playing, and it hits me, and then we just start bouncing stuff off. And that's my favorite thing about writing and doing music. Playing, money, all that, nothing matters. But when you're in the room and 5 people and it clicks and everybody gets it and it starts happening, it's
Absolutely.
like, it's a beautiful thing. And, you know,
It's fulfilling. And then you have this awesome thing to show for it.
right. And like I said, God gave me the art of coming up with these. He's been giving me really good lyrics lately. And, but he gave me he put a little clown pause in there where hard to read. You got dyslexia, can't read for crud. And
You have dyslexia?
Yeah, bad.
I did not know this.
Huh.
That's a challenge to be a musician and write lyrics.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why I hit record everything.
Sure.
And then, sometimes you hear something and go,
Right.
Yeah. A great example of you can't let something like that hold you back.
Nope.
No,
There's a way, just figure out another way to do it.
I can do it.
Yeah, clearly you can do it, sir.
Well, I definitely want to backtrack a little bit because I know Every Mother's Nightmare from 1990.
Right.
I was heavy into the Memphis music scene at that time, following all the people here who put Memphis on the map as far as rock music was concerned. And I know you guys got signed to Arista, and that first album was a huge part of my teenage years. I was 20. I guess you could still say teenage years.
Sure. I'm still a teenager.
So once you guys are signed to Arista and you hit the road in support of the album, did you guys ever have your own tour, or were you mainly an opening act for other major tours, or how did all that work?
Man, we played with everybody and God and His disciples. We started out. We were out with a band called Baton Rouge. I think that's what they're called.
Okay.
And we were opening up for them for $50 a night for like 6 weeks or so, and then I think Walls came out. But when Love hit, it was all different.
Yeah.
Everything changed, and we just started playing. We went from playing, rat holes and $50 a night to it was literally, we were here and we were supposed to be in Tampa, and this show was 5,000 seater and Tampa was 19,000.
Wow.
So, it went from, a couple hundred people to 5,000 the next morning, and we were going to blow that show off, because we were in Milwaukee. And we had to be in Tampa to play the next morning. We was like, that's a big hump.
Yeah.
But we went, and that was my first time there, headlining Livestock, and
It's great.
I was like, he goes, all these people know your song. I said, the DJ dinner, he goes, y'all know y'all got like a number 3 song in the country right now. I was like, no, we've been in a van for the last year. We don't know what's going on.
How did we
We
know
got
that?
to eat. We got to play at night.
Now, this is a question that I always like to ask artists who've had the privilege of playing in front of 19,000 people. Were you nervous?
Oh man, I don't know what I can say on here, but it's like somebody
You can say whatever you want.
It's like somebody take a 220 electrical cord and jammed it right in there, and it's on.
Does that over time? Does that lessen? Because to me, I was going to say, if you're playing in front of 19,000 people, I don't give a shit if you've done it 100 times or 5,000 times.
You would hope, yeah.
You would think that you would still have that freaking nerve.
Oh, it's nerve. I played in front of 67,000. I was nervous that day.
Wow.
I was nervous, but yeah, man, I love playing Murphy's in Memphis. That's
sure.
Yeah.
I get
That's
it.
all. Everybody I know, all my friends are in there.
I get
everybody make mad, piss off, whatever.
Right.
I've yet to go to there. I've got to check out Murphy's.
That's the most live, raw place to play. They don't have nothing like but the singer.
And original music friendly, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very cool.
That's the thing about Memphis. Nashville had a music scene, but it was all based around country, and there was nowhere except going to L.A. And like I said, somebody said, "Hey, y'all come down here and play this thing in Memphis." We played 13 shows. Next thing you know, we got a deal. We didn't even know how to record yet. So.
That's crazy.
And Memphis was just a hot spot.
Yeah.
I would have never known that growing up. It's just every time we get someone in from your era here, it's just Memphis. Man.
Right.
It's just had it.
And the bands were like Randy Mike and Jeff and them from TNA, and there was just great bands here. Every night you go out on Wednesday, and the place be packed, and it'd be a great band. And
I was there a lot of times.
right,
Upstairs at Rascals.
Rascals.
Lord.
There we go. There's
I used to
Rascals
live
again.
in the house right behind that parking lot, right behind Rascals.
Is that right?
Yeah, I walked
Okay.
down there many times at daylight.
That was convenient, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It
little
was
too
inconvenient sometimes.
A little too
We can keep going here. It's gonna
Did I go up or did it go down?
There's no telling.
It's limping. It's
started
limping. It's
falling.
limping out.
fixing the mic here. Oh, there we go.
So yeah, the Rascals was such an amazing place, and I don't think I ever saw EMN at Rascals, but God, I saw so many bands there. I saw you guys at the Daisy, which was awesome because that was a huge crowd.
Oh, that place was packed,
Yeah,
man.
that was a big one.
So I always forget this question. I'm going to remember it today because I think it's cool knowing the origin story behind bands' names.
Yep.
So let's please learn how Every Mother's Nightmare came to be.
All right, here's the guff on it. So I put the band together. I had this manager in Nashville, Doc Fields, and I joined this band. I was in a band called Hard Knocks, and they had a record out, and I got fired. And a band in Nashville that the singer for Hard Knocks was singing for, they just switched singers. I went to Nashville, and so I got down there, and they already had a manager, but I wasn't digging the band. So he said, "Well, make your band what you want, and let me know when you're done." So I moved into a 10 by 20 storeroom down there behind in Antioch, close to the bowling alley.
Yep.
I'd go bowling down there with Tanya Tucker and stuff. But I didn't have no bathroom. I had a TV, I had a guitar, a couple of guitars, and no windows, nothing. I lived in that thing, and I put a band together, and I had a couple of songs. I called him up, and he came out, and he got us a deal.
Wow.
So, but how'd the name
The
came
name?
to be?
Well, our first show, we went to Nashville. He goes, "We're going to play this weekend. What are y'all going to be called?" And we did it for a joke. He goes, "I think we just call it Every Mother's Nightmare." And I was like, I said, "Well, use it this weekend."
20 years,
30 years later.
Yeah. So we'll come up with something else.
So, why those three words together?
He did the way, I guess it's the way we look, because we probably look like a couple of hookers or something at that point. But he said it, and it hit you enough. And I was like, I don't know if it's going to be full time, but it'll work this weekend. So.
Plus, EMN looks great and makes for a great logo.
That's why we dropped to that, because everywhere we played, it was like, EMN's coming. Everybody just started calling us EMN. So I started putting it on the record just to shorten it up, because
they kind of forced it, right?
Right.
You got to go with,
Well, I always keep it. It got me here.
Absolutely.
here.
Yep.
So, is there anything else that that we're missing here that you want to talk about, or?
Man, the only thing about this band is if you come and see us, just come open-minded, and just come. You don't expect anything, because it's just this is what we are.
It's loud, it's heavy,
and it's real. Every bit of it's real. We don't write songs where let's write a song about partying, or got to live it. I figure most of the writers that I've ever liked. They said they didn't start writing good. They, lived a bunch of bad things, I guess.
Well, now we're talking. Let's talk influences.
Right.
Who are your top influences?
Everybody from. Let's see. I guess my main influence would. My mom took me to see Alice Cooper, "Welcome to My Nightmare," when I was 7, and that was it. I learned every nuance of that record, and my mom and my Uncle Greg, he was a world-class drummer. He played all over the world.
Okay.
But but just my family. But my mom took me to see great bands. I went and seen Marshall Tucker, ELO, bands like that when I was, and I didn't like it then, but when I seen the concert, and then
especially ELO, that must have been a huge production.
I seen the last time they had the stage used to be a spaceship, and it was I've seen some great stuff. And my mom did that, and like my Uncle Jackie worked for Charlie Daniels for 29 years. He started out humping cables, and when he died, he was his tour manager. So.
Well, did that have something to do with the remake?
I did it a little bit, just because my family had worked with them, and you know, it wasn't like we were real close, but we called him. I called him and talked to him and asked him if I got his blessing on it.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to do no disrespect to him.
Sure.
You know? And he said, I said, you want to play fiddle on it? He goes, no, a little too fast for me, boy. Go ahead.
Well, I tell you what, that, remakes are a very cool thing. A lot of bands back from that era remade a lot of different songs. That is the most kick-ass version of Long-Haired Country Boy I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It had to be raucous, and it had to just be. I mean, that record, we tried to make it almost because everything was so produced back then.
Right.
We just tried to make it sound bad.
Yeah. Well, no, and
I wanted to rough it up a little
and
bit.
it really did sound more raw.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was.
I think it did well in that regard. But
Songs like Lord Willing on there, nobody was playing. You know, don't know, baby, don't.
Right.
That's this bluegrass that we stealing.
right.
So you mentioned, I heard you say something about you had a guitar with you when you lived in your little Antioch mansion.
I did.
So, so do you play? Do you write on guitar?
I love guitars. I've got 15 probably. My buddy, there's a buddy of mine in Memphis, Ziggy. He makes American Outlaws guitars, and he started making. I wanted a Fender Telly, one humbucker, nothing, volume knob. That's all I wanted.
Right.
You know, and I got a bunch of crap for it. Everybody's like, well, you got to put a blues pickup in there. I said, I'm not going for blues. I said, I want the wood, and I want the feeling from that guitar, but it's got to be different. You know? So, and I like to do things different. My favorite guitar I bought from I shouldn't say crackhead, but I bought it from a crackhead for like $42 or something like that. Yeah. But I don't even know what kind it is, but it's the most incredible sounding guitar.
$42 is very specific.
Right?
Crackhead, great deal.
Right?
Yeah.
Was it 10% off?
Half. Right?
That's awesome, man. Do you play drums or have you dabbled in?
Started out playing drums. My uncle, he gave me a Ludwig smoking fire kit, but I can do a beat, but I'm not boned. I can't do. How do you hold this hand, make this one do this time, do this on this hand, and got feet going this way?
Yeah.
All limbs are doing something different. Yeah.
Leave all that to Alan Bone.
Alan Bone's got that covered.
I'm doing good to remember where I'm at most of the time.
I'm looking forward to hearing this new music now that
man.
we're talking about that. I can't
Please
wait.
let us know when you're fixing to start putting it out in the world, man. We'll do what we can to help you with that.
I'll give you this. One night we practice, 2 or 3 nights a week, Tuesday, Friday, usually. Y'all come up and hang out one night at the room.
Yeah, done deal.
We got a big couch, good, ain't it, Craig?
You don't have to ask us but once.
Yeah.
We're there.
Yeah.
So
I might walk in a little afraid because you guys are so scary looking.
Right.
No, but this is a total side note, but I follow this kid on YouTube. His channel is called Art of Guitar, and he's just great. He gives lessons and just does all kinds of cool content. He's got a huge channel,
right.
And he did a channel about something in the era of the late 80s, early 90s, and he gave his 3 bands he liked the most, and you were one of them.
Wow.
Yeah. Really, and he pulled up a picture of you guys from back in there. Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
I saw that. I was like, no shit, that's so great. And he's up in Minnesota.
Right.
yeah.
So there
That's
you go.
about right. We up in there a lot.
So you did a lot of Midwest stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Why do you think the Midwest was so...
I don't know. I think it's our voice or something. I don't know. They just, I don't know. We have fun up there, don't we?
You think it's the Southern accent?
That and just the way, I guess the way we are. I don't know. We're so sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sweethearts. Every mother's nightmare.
Hey, Craig was he was standing out in front of the bus one night, and we were up somewhere up there, and these people come walking by the bus, and they go, man, them guys were partying their ass off up there. And Craig goes, I didn't have the heart to tell them every one of y'all's old ass was sleeping there.
I'm sure there's some stories on some buses
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
We've got a couple.
A couple. So I went on your Spotify, and man, you got a good amount of followers, and man, God, your top 5 songs are thousands of listens, and I saw that Walls Come Down as your top one at
All right.
144,000 listens. That's awesome.
That was our first one. The first song off of what was it? Resurrect the Faithful.
Yeah, I believe so.
Breathe. We threw that out on YouTube, and first day it was what 182,000.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And I was like, you know, and then COVID hit. I was waiting on. I was trying to get the next record out. Come on, the next single now.
Yeah, ride the wave, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But Walls was that was Headbangers Ball. That was really what got you guys started.
Let's talk about that. So you're at Headbangers Ball, MTV. Did you actually go and meet with what was his name?
Ricky Rackman. I played his club. Yeah. I met him a couple times.
So were you on his show, Headbangers Ball?
No, we were on the show, but I didn't physically go on the show.
Like not an interview,
no,
but the song they played.
They put it. You know, they had that thing where they would put us up with who were against. I think Faster Pussycat or something like that. So,
cool.
you know, we was on there for a minute, and you know, we got invited to Playboy Mansion. And that was cool. So that was.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to Ricky Rackman's after that.
We would like photos from the Playboy Mansion visit that we can throw up on the podcast.
Yeah, right. Yeah, get us kicked off Facebook, YouTube. Well, man, this has been a pleasure, man, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all play and again. But seriously, man, when you start thinking about ways to roll out your new material, give us a call. We'll help you with that as best we can. We would love to collaborate with you on that.
Well, we appreciate you talking to us.
Man, thanks for coming. Like I
I
said, this is a big deal to me. I've followed you for years.
It's a good day.
Great to meet you in person and talk to you. And
y'all got to come out to rehearsal though.
Absolutely,
dude.
We're doing
anytime, man. You know?
Doing it.
We'll make Fever Tree jealous. You know? The band's gonna start like wanting us everywhere. They're gonna be like, oh, we're already booked at this rehearsal, guys.
Right.
Sorry.
But we got pot roast.
There we go. I'm in. Well, before we say goodbye, let's talk to the audience a little bit, Jeff. And where can they find us again? Let's remind everybody what's up.
Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, and Apple Music. Click on the link tree; it'll take you wherever you want to go. And keep an eye out because we're going to try and get these guys to give us some new music to put on the podcast.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Mondays, 6 p.m. Central, Facebook and YouTube, full length audio that morning. Patreon, you check it out. Click that link. Join the tip jar. And join the chip. Yes, join the tip jar. Join the subscription and throw that $1 in the tip jar every month. We would appreciate that. We do clips all week. So we do a lot of things. We have a lot of fun. And again, SRP Studios and Shelby Row Productions kind of fuels this for right now. But yeah, awesome, Rick. It's been a pleasure.
May I say one thing before
Hell yeah, of course. Say whatever you want.
EMN.rocks, new website. Check it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. And we'll have all that in our link to the episode where people will know where to go.
We're shitty hosts.
We are.
But yeah, we have all your links. I'm going to have your YouTube link, your Spotify link, everything. It's already ready.
And this is not the only time you'll be here. We tell every guest we want them back multiple times because you can't look. You got a 35-year career. We can't cram all that into an hour. So we're gonna have you back to talk more things, and we want to hear about road stories and all the crazy stuff that happens.
You got it. Well, again, thanks, Rick. Take care.
Thank
y'all.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.